We got breaking news out of the NFL where the Patriots have fired head coach Jerod Mayo after just one season. After just one season. Within hours of the end of it, the firing comes down. Robert Kraft handpicking the successor to Bill Belichick, who went 4-13 this season, securing the 4th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. That's the fewest games the Patriots have won in a season since 1992. Jerod Mayo out as head man in New England. Ryan Wilson, Emery Hunt here with reaction to this latest firing. We now have 4 head coaching openings confirmed. That's Chicago, New England, New York Jets, and the New Orleans Saints. We can get to all of that and the market that might be, but the timing of this one feels like it begs a question. Right after the game, Jerod Mayo handed his walking papers. Ryan, what do you take away from that timing?
I don't think Jerod Mayo had taken off his team-issued clothes by the time they let him know that he was no longer needed. And you said that this has probably been coming more than the last 15 minutes, maybe the last month or so. We don't know. But I'll just say this. Did they have a good season? No. By any measure. The only successful part of it was Christian Gonzalez, Keon Waite, and then, of course, Drake May, their rookie quarterback. But this is not Jerod Mayo's fault. He did not put this team together. This is Bill Belichick's team, and a team that, after they lost Tom Brady, was not very good. And you can go look at their draft record the last 3 or 4 years, and you'll have the answers to the question as to why this team won as few games as they did. So you put this team together, you hired Jerod Mayo, who has a history playing for the Patriots when they were successful, and then you get mad at him when he can't win games with the same dudes you were losing games with previously. So, look, you can question the in-game decision-making, the late-game decision-making, all that I understand, but this seems like he was set up to fail because if you can't win games with Bill Belichick, the greatest coach in NFL history, no one else on planet Earth has a chance with the same roster, and that's exactly what happened to Jerod Mayo.
It's funny because you hear people say, well, you draft a quarterback and he's supposed to make everybody around him better. But I always say, Allen Iverson said it best, I can't make you better. I am Allen Iverson, you are who you are. But when you think about what they were able to do, they nailed one quarterback, probably nailed 2 quarterbacks based on what we saw today. And the defense was playing really tough all throughout the season. We know what the clear issues were for the New England Patriots. Lack of playmakers, offensive line. Those were some chances you had to rectify that in this upcoming draft with the capital and maybe in free agency. I think you owe it to a coach to at least give him 2 years to see his program filter itself out and see what they put out there. Exactly. Don't hire him. And maybe because you had a prior relationship with him, you felt comfortable of saying, okay, hey, man, we're going to get you this head coaching job for this 1 year, then we're going to let you go. Maybe that's behind the scenes. I'm speculating, but, man, it just feels wrong to bring in a guy and not let him see his program through.
It is what it is, and it is an opening in New England now, and let's go that direction next. Assess this opening. Drake May, we saw some. We didn't see everything. Things pointing forward. They feel like they have their quarterback of the future there in New England. Much has been made about Chicago maybe being the best opening because of the quarterback there. How do you grade out New England as an opportunity for a head coach?
Listen, you have a quarterback potentially. You have a good foundation on defense. We know that to be a fact. You have a second quarterback in Joe Milton that could be a solid backup for your starting quarterback, and you have a high pick with currency. So you have a lot going for you. This is a good spot.
And the most cap space in the NFL a season from now. They could go buy some help.
Exactly. So you have a good situation here. I think it's a very good spot, a good opportunity for a coach to come in and make something happen. I would hate to see this broken up for Drake May, because do you keep Alex Van Pelt, who worked well with Drake May, and you saw him move the ball forward with this quarterback, with 2 quarterbacks, and keep bringing it up, because Alex Van Pelt had a hand in what we saw from Drake May and what we saw from that offense, despite having that lack of playmakers.
They had pick 4. They had pick 37. Had they lost this game, I wonder if Jerod Mayo keeps his job if they lose this game. It feels like the Lovie Smith situation on some degree, but I think your larger point is one, this probably was a long time coming. But had they maintained that first-round pick, first overall pick, then you trade down, you get a ton more picks. Joe, you talked about the salary cap space that they have. They're going to have to get an offensive lineman at 4. They're going to be out of the Travis Hunter race by that point. And then you have to get the head coaching right. We just talked about this with the Chicago Bears. You have to get this right. And, again, I'll just echo, unless there's something we don't know behind the scenes about Jerod Mayo's relationship with Robert Kraft, and you mentioned they've been buddies for a while. Zach Taylor won 2 games what felt like 5 or 6 years in a row before they got who? Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Now, the offensive line's been an issue. The defense has been an issue. But this just feels like an extremely short leash. And you're setting the franchise back now another year because you have not built anything this year, and now you're going to blow it all up and start over.
The low-hanging fruit here is obviously Mike Vrabel, who is one of the most storied members of those dynasty years and a leader in that room before what could be a head coach in that room. Is this make the most sense? Does the timing almost point you this direction? Someone who's had a year to sit and watch. We knew he was going to get another bite at the apple, whether it be here or elsewhere. Or do you look at it and say, we just tried the former Patriot thing? Like, are you trying to redefine the Patriot way in a futile manner in your eyes if you do go towards Mike Vrabel? Or is this something completely different in your eyes, Ryan, than Gerard Mayo was?
No, you said it earlier. Mike Vrabel's a leader of men. He got the most out of that Tennessee Titan team, and it never was considered sexy. It wasn't like watching Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan develop offensive plays, but those guys played hard for them. They won divisions, and they competed each and every week. And the other thing, Emery, is you can stick it to the Jets. They just interviewed Mike Vrabel, and they have a history of sticking it to one another. Bill Belichick resigned on a napkin a few years ago. The Patriots let the Steelers draft up to take the offensive lineman that the Jets wanted, so it goes back and forth. I wonder if this will encourage Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, to maybe move a little quicker on a coach that now might be suddenly of great interest to the Patriots.
It's fascinating because when you think about this opening in Mike Vrabel, what I would ask potential coaching candidates, and we know everyone is going to lie, but what was your thoughts, what was your scouting report on Drake May? Because you can't come into the situation and then use the, I don't have my guy at quarterback, and try to use that to buy time. You have to buy in on what we currently have. Can you make those guys win? I do like the Mike Vrabel approach because he is a football coach. He's not a play caller. He's not trying to call the defense or an offense. He wants to coach the team. And that's what a lot of these football teams need. Stop going for the offensive or defensive genius. Get a guy that's a football coach.
And he can manage a group.
And delegate to your coordinators.
Absolutely.
That would be Vrabel as the head coach, maybe Josh McDaniels as the OC.
Run it back.
Has Brady turned the retirement papers in just yet? Be still my heart. What we do know,
Romeo Cornell's available.
It is a fourth opening in the head coaching ranks here in the NFL, with the latest firing Gerard Mayo immediately after the season in New England. They don't stand for failure for too long. That dynasty, it bought you some time. The time to win is now, and it will be a different head coach tasked with that following one of the most futile seasons in franchise history. More reaction coming on the heels of this firing. NFL insider Jonathan Jones in with the latest and how this firing came to pass. That's next on CBS Sports.
All right, back into Game Day Scoreboard, presented by the all-electric Acura ZDX. Precision, crafted performance. All right, here's your NFL, or NFC anyway, playoff picture. The Lions and Vikings are going to play. Whoever wins is the 1 seed. Whoever loses is the 5 seed. If they tie, the Lions are the 1 seed because they beat the Vikings in the last play earlier in this season. Eagles locked into that 2. Rams are going to be that 3. And then obviously you have what's going on. It's either going to be Atlanta or Tampa to win the South. So you have a game right here. It's in Detroit. Lions are very beat up, given 2.5. 56.5 is the total. 56.5 is the total, and you see the money line there as well. All right, let's get Mike McClure, Jason Lockenfor in. I'm Eric Casillas, Game Day Scoreboard. All right, gents, how do you want to play Minnesota at Detroit?